All right, let's talk about what's going on in the AI world right now because things are getting heated. OpenAI just came out with a pretty bold claim against DeepSeek, a Chinese AI company, saying it's basically state controlled. And not only that, they're calling for restrictions, even bans on AI models like DeepSeek's. Now, if you've been following AI for a while, you probably saw this coming. The AI arms race has been ramping up, and this is just the latest chapter, so let's break it down. What exactly did OpenAI say? Why are they so concerned? And is this really about security, or is it about competition? So OpenAI released this policy document where the basic idea is that they're worried about DeepSeek being backed by the Chinese government. Now, here's the thing. In China, companies don't operate the same way they do in, say, the US. The government has a lot of influence, a lot of control, and that's what OpenAI is pointing at. They're saying if DeepSeek is state-funded or even just heavily influenced by the Chinese government, then that's a risk. And they're not just talking about competition, they are saying it's a security issue. One, data privacy. They're saying that AI models coming out of China, especially ones as advanced as DeepSeek, could potentially be used for surveillance, data gathering, or influencing critical infrastructure. They're basically worried that these models could be trained on data from US users, and that information could somehow be accessed by the Chinese government. Second, there's the intellectual property argument. OpenAI is kind of hinting, well, more than hinting, that DeepSeek might have taken a few ideas from them. And this isn't the first time we've seen this accusation. Other AI companies have raised similar concerns, saying that China has been reverse engineering Western AI models. But here's where it gets interesting. OpenAI itself has been criticized for training on publicly available data without permission. I mean, how different is that, really? If OpenAI can scrape the internet for training data, why can't DeepSeek? Feels a bit like a double standard, doesn't it? Okay, but what about DeepSeek? What do they have to say about all this? Well, DeepSeek, for one, has been positioning itself as an open source AI company. They've released models that, honestly, are pretty impressive. Their DeepSeek R1 reasoning model, yeah, it's been performing at a level comparable to OpenAI's own models, especially in coding and mathematical reasoning, and that's caught a lot of attention. But here's where it gets tricky. OpenAI is saying that because DeepSeek is open source, it's actually riskier. Why? Because in theory, it means anyone, including state actors, can use it. Now, if this was just about technology, it would be one thing, but it's not. This is political. This is about global power. See, the US and China have been competing on AI for years. The US wants to stay ahead, and OpenAI, being one of the biggest AI companies, is a huge part of that. So when they say we need regulations, we need restrictions, what they're really saying is we don't want China catching up. And let's be real, China's government isn't exactly known for playing fair. They have strict controls over the internet, they heavily regulate their own tech companies, and yeah, they do have laws that could, in theory, require companies like DeepSeek to hand over data. So OpenAI isn't just making this up. The concern is real. But at the same time, it's also very convenient for OpenAI to push for bans right when DeepSeek is becoming a real competitor. So where does this leave us? Well, first, we're going to see more restrictions. OpenAI is pushing for stronger AI export controls. That means they don't want advanced AI models being shared with countries like China. The US government is already on board with this. They've been tightening up restrictions on AI chip exports, and this is just another step in that direction. Second, we're probably going to see AI become more of a national security issue. Governments are going to start treating AI companies the same way they treat weapons manufacturers. Because, let's be honest, AI is power. The country that controls AI controls a lot more than just chatbots and image generators. They control data, automation, even warfare. Well, I think OpenAI is making some fair points, but they're also looking out for themselves. They don't want competition, and DeepSeek, they're good. Really good. And that scares OpenAI. At the same time, yeah, China's AI regulation is different from the US, and when AI is this powerful, regulation matters. But banning DeepSeek outright, that just seems like an excuse to slow them down. So let me know what you think. Should the US be restricting AI models from China? Or is this just another example of a big tech company trying to keep its monopoly?